guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing what I did in the last video, but with just like a different build. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so first I started with the frame, and I did a stripped pink log, and I think it looks pretty good since I really like the color of that, and I wanted it to be a little bigger since it was going to be like pushed in a block like the walls. So I made it one block, I put it like one block out, and then I divided it into two since I wanted 2 floors. And then after that, I put one around the top so I could have like a line for where my roof was going to be. And yeah. After that, I started on the walls, and I was thinking about doing cherry wood, but I decided on deep slate bricks since deep slate bricks I feel like the black looked really good with the pink. And then, yeah, so I feel like the black and pink color palette looked great. And then for the roof, I decided to do a polished black stone like roof, and I did like 2 of the like pointy things, and I feel like that looked like much better than it would have if I did one pointy thing because of how tall the building was in general. But this is definitely the most interesting build I've done so far. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty well, and I also had to rearrange like the wall and stuff so it could have like, so it was an even number, so I could have the middle 2 blocks, because I feel like if you do like a roof like this, you want a middle 2 middle blocks, so you can like have it like be something like this. And I feel like the roof took like a lot of effort. This was definitely the longest part of like the build, and I did like a lot of stuff to it since like you see that like that looks really bad, so I fixed that and made it like slabs. And that's not even like the final thing I decided on, but yeah, I just kept going until I finally made it look good. And then I started like building out like from where I like outlined it. And I feel like I could have done some stuff differently, like doing like an outline, like a line, like a frame rather, like a different color or block, and then doing the polished black stone on the inside, because I feel like this build kind of lacked a lot of pink. And then, yeah. And then right here, this is what the finished, like, thing I decided on. And I think that looked a lot better than it would have. Then after the roof, I started working on the second floor's walls, and I decided on dark oak. And I feel like this was pretty, like, it was kind of hard to do it. But I think it turned out really well, the second floor. But yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing while I was building this, and I was definitely kind of winging it. So, yeah. But I also decided on spruce floor, which I did change later on. But yeah. And then I did a polished black stone ceiling as well, so it would match the roof. And I think that turned out pretty well. And then I moved outside to start working on the detailing. For that, I kind of chose a little it took me a while to choose it, but I chose mud to go with the deep slate bricks because it gave it that look of depth better than the deep slate did, since it was darker. And I was originally going to do deep slate, but it didn't look that good. And yeah, then I was going to do it the same thing with the top floor, but it didn't look that great. And then for the windows on the top floor, I had to do a lot to pick the right shape, and it was pretty hard for me to choose. And then eventually I decided on just doing 3 squares because that was how it was even. And then I started working on the door and then the window and filled it in so I could have, yeah, I did pink windows since I still needed a lot more pink, since this one I wanted it to be a pink and black build. Then I started working on the interior, sort of, and then I switched out the spruce floor to a cherry floor, and I think this looked a lot better since I did want a lot more pink in this build, because if you have a lot of a dark color, I feel like I want to match it, me personally, I would match it with a light color, so I feel like that's why I wanted to add more pink, since there was a lot of darkness, since both of the walls were dark, and yeah. And then I went inside to work on the living area, the kitchen, and I was doing kind of a purple theme kind of downstairs, And then I decided on purple stairs for a couch. And I chose like the guys fighting as the TV with some bookshelves. Because me being a book girly, I need my books in my Minecraft world. And I was kind of struggling with the ladder in the way, so I kind of just removed it. And then built like a stair thing on the side of the house. And I think that turned out much better. And yeah, so then I built the counter, the fridge, and the kitchen. And then I put a sink, and yeah. And then I added candles to like make it look more complete. And then I was done. And like I said, I added a stair thing on the side of the house, and it's kind of like out of the way. So it took like a lot of like different strategies that I tried, and I think it turned out good. Then I started working on the upstairs interior. I decided on a red bed, like the bed that I normally do, and I really like how it looks. And then I made a desk out of quartz, and then I made a beautiful chair, and I added some carpet to like fill in some space, and I also added a bookshelf, which I think looked like my signature bookshelves look good. Then after that, I started working on the exterior, and I was like adding trees and stuff. And I did like an exterior, like adding trees, because I got a comment on the last video saying that I should like add trees, pathways, like decorations on the outside to make it look like it belongs here. So yeah, I think that was like really great advice, so thank you. And I also added a pathway to a brick well, and I feel like the symbolism of brick wells in a little wooded area is really like, I feel like it was like a really great idea, since like, yeah, I don't, if you know, you know, I guess. But yeah, I think it turned out well. So yeah, I also made a montage again, so here it is.